The Comprehensive Plan Committee and the Conservation Committee did not meet this month. That's why they're on the consent agenda for discussion. So do I have a motion to?
So move for approval.
Right. I'll make a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Confirmed appointments, we have none, so we'll move on to Planning Commission. Chris Durstein.
Evening.
Evening, Chris.
Hello, Mr. Wilson.
How are you? Okay, we met last Tuesday. We had one applicant. It was David Nice out here on Old 309. Yeah, Old 309, Bethlehem Pike. I'm sure you remember he built a
Right.
pole barn without permit. It's on about a half-acre lot. Pole barn's being used for equipment and vehicles for his business. He had issues with the south side yard and the rear yard for setbacks. He built the building too close and had some setback issues. He did get relief from zoning hearing. So they were back in after they got the relief from zoning hearing. We went through Steve's engineering list of concerns, I guess we call them. Came up with some changes that we'd like to see on the plan. So due to these items, PC decided to table until the revisions were put on the plan. Now, there's 2 points that are worthy of note this evening. Number one, he wants an easement to allow a driveway in the rear of the lot that would connect to the lot behind it, which is owned by his father. And he would like to make this an extinguishable easement should the lots ever change ownership. So we need to have our solicitor talk to their
I have
counsel.
been.
And you have? Okay.
Yes.
So we're gonna look to Mary for a recommendation on that. Second point, he would like waivers for street improvements and traffic study, but he would only like to pay what it would cost him to do these improvements, since he would want to do them himself. Apparently, our schedule will call for about a $14,000 donation. He thinks he can put it in for just over $6,000. And I guess Steve was going to double check those numbers. I don't think he included the traffic study in those numbers.
No.
So it would probably be whatever the traffic study costs. That's,
Okay.
he would have to add that into his offer. And that was about it.
Okay.
So like I said, we tabled until our next meeting. They're going to come in with the changes, hopefully have some input on the easement and the road improvements.
Okay.
And the PC was in favor of waiving the road improvements, but, you know, we weren't going to make any movement without having this fee in lieu of cleared up.
Okay. Good.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Do you have anything?
Thank you, Chris.
Chris?
Yep.
Move for approval of Chris's
Yeah.
report.
And I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Police report, Chief Blake.
Evening.
Good evening.
Evening,
The
Chief.
Big Mahawk's here.
How are you?
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
This is the Penn Regional Police report for June activities for both East and West Rockhill Township. You can see we handled 475 calls for service, handled 27 traffic crashes, 12 in East Rockhill, 15 in West Rockhill, and we investigated 50 crimes, 8 Part 1 and 42 Part 2 crimes. In West Rockhill, the crimes are as follows that were reported: 3 public trunk cases, 2 criminal mischief cases, 2 theft cases, 1 trespass case, 3 harassment cases, 4 fraud cases, 2 disorderly conduct cases, 1 possession of narcotics, 4 dog law violations, 2 DUIs, 1 reckless endangerment, and 2 ordinance violations. In East Rockhill, the crimes are as follows: a burglary, no force, non-residence. That's how those crimes are classified by UCR. So when you see jargon like that, they classify burglaries, daytime, nighttime, force, no force, residence, non-residence. So that was that burglary. 3 theft cases, 1 sex offense against a minor, 1 motor vehicle theft, 1 underage drinking, 3 DUIs, 2 harassment, 1 criminal mischief, 2 dog law violation, 4 ordinance violation, 2 harassment cases, and 2 trespass violations. And the charges filed in June are as follows: 4 disorderly conduct charges, 2 robbery charges, 1 criminal trespass, 2 theft charges, 2 receiving stolen property charges, 1 harboring dangerous dogs, 1 harassment, 2 public drunkenness charges, 5 DUI charges, 1 possession of drug paraphernalia, 1 possession of heroin, 1 possession of methamphetamines. And then you can see the activities that were conducted as far as traffic enforcement and citations issued. Just like to note that we put it out on Twitter and Facebook today. We're looking for information. We had a crash earlier today about 10:30 on Ridge Valley Road in the 500 block, which is between Forest and Tower. We're looking for a white, they call phantom vehicle that forced a box truck off the road. This box truck then went off the road and overcorrected and came into the other lane of travel and hit 2 vehicles, and the one person was ejected from their vehicle and they're severely injured. So we're looking for more information on that. We do have 1 witness, but we're looking for more witnesses. So if you hear anything, point towards the police department.
Okay, thank you.
That's the activity report.
Any
Thank you,
questions?
Russ. No, have
Me
none.
neither. I'll make a motion to accept the chief's report.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank
The Joint Rec Authority for the Holiday House Pool, we continue to make changes and improve the pool. I can tell you that at the last meeting, actually, do you have those pictures? Well, let me, yeah, I'll go through that first. We had talked about the new bocce ball court. Well, the new bocce ball court is sideways, but it's finished. There we go. There we go. So that's the new court. It was put in, I actually finished it about a week after our meeting last time, so it's been heavily used. I think we've got 40-some hours in it in the last 3 weeks of people just signing out the equipment. You just sign the equipment out in the office and anyone can use it. So the next picture just shows some people from the, doesn't it automatically advance? Okay. Oh, how about that? I put them all on their side. Just a family there with the guards. In fact, this picture was in the Percy News Herald, and I thank the News Herald for putting that in. And we also added a ping pong table. So the ping pong table was from Royal Billiards, and Royal Billiards threw in delivery, setup, and a cover for the table, which is valued at about $230. The remainder of the table, which was $1,300 was the cost, was a gift from my wife Ada and me to the pool. We wanted to do something nice, and the kids are loving it, so we're happy we could do that. We also have added bingo. We started bingo last week. Anyone that comes to the pool can play for free, and we have gifts. We've gotten gifts from Tina Gerhardt, Realtor, Planet Fitness, Key Bank. My wife Ada Miller donated some stuff, Vital Essentials Salon, and we've even had patrons that donated some money, and also Washington House donated 100 gift certificates for the Washington House restaurant. So come on out, play bingo. And even if you're not a member, $10 gets you in the door. All right, it's all paying off. We've seen an uptick in our memberships, but that's kind of leveled out for the year now because we're getting into August. But we have seen about a 40% increase in our single day sales. So that's huge. That is a huge increase. So the word's getting out. People really like it, and everyone's been pretty happy. So I think that's all I've got. Any questions?
What night's the bingo?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thursday nights. Actually, we did it last week, Thursday evening. We've decided to do it closer, or more during the day now because there's a lot more people at the pool. So it will be Thursday, tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Tomorrow at 3. Yes, Frank.
Frank Schuman, there, that Washington House, was that a $100 gift certificate or 100 certificates?
It's 100. It was 100 certificates.
Valued at what?
I would say, well, it was for a free appetizer, a free. What were the other ones? Free app. Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, I didn't get them yet. She's sending them over to me.
Okay,
Yeah, but it's like a free appetizer, a free drink, or a donation, or a discount on lunch, things like that. Probably $10, I would say, approximately $10 each. So it's probably about $1,000 worth of donations, so, yeah. Okay? Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. That's it. Do you have any?
Okay, I move for approval.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Yeah, I know.
tax collector's report, Suzanne.
Okay, for the month of July for annual taxes, I've collected $8,420.40. In streetlight tax, $64.74. And just to let you know that all final notices have been sent out for county and township tax bills that were issued March the 1st. So hopefully we'll have some more money coming in for the
Okay.
month.
Good.
Moving forward, and that's it.
That's it, okay. Any questions? No? Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the taxpayers report.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The engineers report.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Although we have no items on the agenda, I did want to bring one item to your attention. The township has recently received the truck hauling routes for a report about the truck hauling routes for the East Rockhill recently opened quarry. And they will include some West Rockhill Township roads, including a portion of Old Bethlehem Pike and Green Top Road. So I would request your authorization to prepare a study on those two roads and make any recommendations of improvements that would be
Okay.
necessary.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the engineer's report. Before, was that a motion before to accept that, or his?
No, that was a motion.
That was,
to
okay, so I'll make a
approve the
motion to
study.
accept the engineer's report.
Second, yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Solicitor's report.
The only thing under the solicitor's report is the fireworks ordinance, but I thought that last month you said that you weren't
I did.
interested in proceeding with it.
Not at this time, so, but hold on till first.
Then I have nothing on.
Okay, all right, nothing to report, okay. Township manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have a treasurer's report and the payment of the bills. The treasurer's report ending June 30th, 2018. You have a general fund balance of $740,000, $210.71. Highway aid, $281,629.10. Open space, $1,051,565.04. The park fund, $15,218.47. The equipment fund, $17,313.73. Highway capital, $125.41. Street light, $34,878.99. The reserve funds, the general fund reserve, $323,566.94. Open space Manderfield, $50,599. Sewage maintenance fund, $168,774.78. Stormwater fund, $6,361.44. And the escrow funds, $477,717.55. You also have a copy and list of the bills.
Okay,
Okay, I make a motion to approve this report and authorize the payment of bills as presented.
and I
All
second.
subject to audit.
And I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
All right, the next item is catch basin rules. At last month's meeting, the board directed me to come up with some rules for catch basin. Looking back at ordinance 107, that covers all township parkland. That's what was adopted years ago. So if the board's okay with just enforcing ordinance 107, we'll go from there and we'll put a sign up with also no boating on there too for the catch basin.
Okay, so that would be, the only change would be the no boating, which is not on the others.
Which is not on the others.
Yeah,
And what
okay.
we're going to do, we're in the process of doing codification. And when we do codification, we'll get all those little things there.
Yeah.
So instead of advertising it, we'll put it on the sign,
Yeah.
but it will be added to the ordinance when codification is done.
Okay, perfect. All right, I will make a motion to pass that ordinance for catch basin, the catch
Oh,
basin
that
rules.
you're, just, that you're fine with using.
Oh, yeah,
ordinance
yeah,
107. It's already
okay.
on the books.
Right, okay, then I'm fine with using it, yes, yes. And then I'll make, yeah, I don't know how even to state that we're fine with using
Authorize the
it.
procedure.
Okay, well, authorize the
Placement of the
procedure, yes.
sign.
Okay, and I'll second that. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
The next item, you have a letter from McMahon Associates. McMahon Associates is our traffic engineer. They are requesting that they are able to work for Fresco in their expansion and not be our traffic engineer for that application when it comes in.
Are we gonna have a need for a traffic engineer on that expansion?
Potentially, yes, depending on the final scope of the project, it potentially a quite large project. It's not, from what I understand, it's not just a small building addition like they've done over the past couple of years.
So whatever McMahon does with them, we will have to approve.
Or retain a different traffic engineer to review it on
Well,
behalf of the
we'll have to
township.
approve the plan, and they'll be a
Yeah.
part of that plan.
Yes.
So we've already reviewed it. Right?
Well, no, Fresco will be working for, McMahon will be working for Fresco instead of the township. And McMahon is the township traffic engineer. So then you would either have to hire another traffic engineer or tell McMahon, no, you're our traffic engineer, you cannot do work for people inside the township.
It sounds like a conflict to me,
Yes.
a
They
big
pay the other.
conflict, and I'm not
They
in
pay,
favor of that.
They wrote the letter.
they pay for the other traffic engineer.
Well, Fresco pays for whoever we get as a traffic engineer as part of the escrow process.
Okay.
But then you would have to pick another traffic engineer.
There are enough of them around.
So it's up to you.
I think we look for another traffic engineer,
Yeah, contractor for that project.
yeah.
Okay.
And that was just a question.
Now, I'd like a motion for you.
So moved.
Okay, and I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I have two other items that are not listed on the agenda. The first item was the board authorized me to write a letter to a Park and Rec member, Emily DeFrino, asking her if she was still interested in serving on Park and Rec. I mailed it to her house and I also emailed her. I have not heard back from her.
Okay.
And that was
How
30
long
days
ago?
ago.
How many? 30?
30 days ago.
I would say that we also talked about putting some regulations in place or processes in place so that we can handle this differently in the future, but I don't think, with Jay out this evening, I don't want to go into the details of putting another procedure in place yet. So we'll table that until next month, but I am in favor of the Park and Rec moving forward with this and starting to advertise for another member. And assuming that, going with the assumption that Emily will no longer be on the board, on the committee.
So does the board want to remove Emily from the Park and Rec and advertise a new position?
I vote for removal and advertising.
And I will second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item that I have is on August 1st, there will be two zoning hearing boards. 2018 Durstein Millhaven and 2018-5 Edward and Janice Monti. The first one is placing a bridge in the floodplain. I would like authorization for the solicitor and the engineer to be there to make sure that the township builds a good record for that. The importance of that is it goes to DEP and EPA for the floodplain, and I don't want to see anything, the township get hurt by a variance that is granted that does not comply with DEP and EPA standards.
Right.
The other one is a 4,000 square foot pole barn that is going behind Rockhill Auto, which is there at Ridge and Almont. And the uniqueness of that is there's a house and a business there. They say that it's going to be for residential use, but I would just like since the engineer and solicitor are going to be there for the first one, to be there to protect the township's interests and build a record if something comes to light that.
So moved.
And I will second that, to have them both in attendance.
August 1st.
August 1st, 7 p.m.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's all I have.
Okay. We had some old business, it's the donation to the to the community center. It's a $2,500 donation, and it's been sitting around for a long time, and I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and pay our annual donation to the community center.
I would agree with that, but I'd like to see what the other communities are donating in that area. Because we donated $45,000 at the beginning to buy all the furniture for that facility. And I just want to see where the balance of equations.
So you're saying you don't want to vote on that this evening?
No, I didn't say that. But
Oh, okay.
I think it's something that we might want to wait and see get Jay's view on it. Since he'll be back, I don't know if it's that big a deal at this point in this month. I would suggest we table it till next month.
Okay, well, we're not going to come to a consensus on that, because I think we should pay it, because all the other townships and boroughs and, well, all the municipalities in the Penn Ridge area have already donated, so. Since we won't have a consensus on that, we'll table it.
Right.
Any other old business?
I have none.
Okay, I have no other old business. New business. I have one thing. I want to congratulate Tony and Shannon on their wedding. That happened a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations to you and Shannon. I hope you have many, many happy years together.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. And that's all I had for new business.
Okay.
Do you have any new business, Don?
No, I do not.
Okay. Greg? Any?
No new business.
No, okay. Public comment. The floor is open. Yes.
Tom Couchet, 2950 Rich Hill Road.
Mhm.
I would like to know if the town, this is in reference to the Adelphia compressor
Mhm.
station. I would like to know if there are any new developments on that. And also if the township has received any impact study that they were supposed to supply. Has any of that stuff been done?
Who
No,
wants to?
we have not received anything as of.
The other thing is, according to DEP, the DEP environmental engineers informed me that they do not conduct safety or noise impact studies, and that this township is responsible for that. Are they correct in stating that?
I don't know, they're not. They're saying that they don't do
They're
any-
saying that the township is responsible for those studies.
Yeah.
Or at least to obtain them or request them.
Yeah,
That's what they're saying. I don't know,
we're not giving, and we've talked about this, you and I have talked
Right.
about this before, we're not given any authorization to enforce our ordinances or require, like normally when we can require environmental studies and traffic impact studies and those things, it's under our subdivision and land development ordinance. That's the only mechanism given us by the legislature to require those kind of things. In this case, because it's a federal issue, the federal government regulations preempt our regulations, and you and I have had this discussion before.
Right, right.
Although their direction from the federal government is try and make the municipality happy to the extent you can, we don't have the ability to require them to go through a formal land development process and do those studies. Now, most likely, when you called DEP and asked if they were going to do it, they also are preempted from regulating because this is a FERC project. It's not a state project. It's not under the PUC. So whoever you were talking to knew that he wasn't going to be doing studies and maybe made the assumption, so you have to talk to your local government. So I'm just trying to explain to you the map by which we don't have the authority to compel them to do studies.
Okay. But when Adelphia, obviously they have already applied for the permit, don't they have, aren't you gonna require that they would do all of that before any decision will be made on that?
Right.
Will be made?
They're going to, FERC is going to require any project like this that's under federal auspices, FERC is required to do a NEPA study, the National Policy Environmental Policy Act study. And so there's two levels of that study. There's the full-blown study, and then there's the environmental assessment. They've told us that that FERC has directed that they can do an assessment instead of a study. That's one of the things we're trying to look at with FERC.
Well, this is a little
Okay.
different. What I would like to see.
Excuse me, public comments are limited to 2.5 minutes, and we're giving you some leeway because we have lots of time tonight right now, but in general, public comments are 2.5 minutes, and we've let you go 5, so do you have something you need to wrap up?
Well, that's okay. Well, yes. Are you required to ultimately approve this project, their proposal?
To put it more succinctly, we are not allowed to ultimately approve this proposal. It's not a matter of are we required. If we had the option, we would take the option, but we do not have the ability.
So they never did apply for a permit from this township?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Comments, other comments? Yes, sir.
Barry Bettinger, Matthew Road.
Mhm.
If this keeps continuing with this Adelphia, eventually you're gonna have to make a call on it, correct?
No. Well, that's what
No.
we just asked.
Okay, because everything that I read was terrible for this. It was the gas pollution and emitting toxic gas, and a very noise pollution was another heavy one. Don't you have any kind of a say in this matter? They can't come in there, I don't think, and get away with something like that without some higher above township approval.
I don't want to make it sound so doom and gloom, but the bottom line is that this project is being reviewed, and all approvals will come at the federal level. They will not come at the local level. The local government, the federal government asks the applicant to work with the local government to the extent that it can, and comply with the ordinances to the extent that it is able, but at the end of the day, they don't apply to us, and we don't have the ability to approve or not approve the project.
Thank you.
I'm Judy Benninger, Massey Road. I have a question about the emergency response plan. If something would happen at that, who is in charge of getting everybody, if you would have to evacuate, who would be in charge of that? Do you have the answer to that?
We met with Adelphia, and one of the questions that the manager and the engineer really grilled them on is, where's your emergency access? How are you going to get emergency vehicles back there? Are the roads sufficient? Are the driveways and access ways sufficient to handle them? And I think probably the best thing we can say is that's under the category of something that we're working with them on. They seem willing to work with us a little bit on that, but their options are limited. I don't know, Steve, Greg, do you have anything more you can add to that?
No, when we met with them, we said you have to take care of emergency management. You have to meet with we have to meet with the fire department, and we asked them to meet with the fire department and get all the information that they can.
Did you talk to the fire department? Are they able to handle something like that? Were they trained to handle something like that, our fire department?
We don't even have the building plans yet.
Huh?
We haven't even seen the building plans yet. We don't have enough information to go to the fire departments yet.
Oh, I gotcha. So, I was wanting to know, I mean, there's just for your information, and maybe you don't know, but we did have a pipeline leak there about 15 years ago. Does anybody remember that? We had to be evacuated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who evacuated you then?
I believe it was the fire company that came and knocked on our door. But that was in the pipe compressor station. This is a bigger event. I mean, if something would happen, you're talking about a big explosion. And if there was a leak, depending on where you live next to it, I do believe that any certain spark of ignite turning on your car, or any kind of spark could cause an explosion. So how far away do you have to be to live that you have to hunker down and you're not allowed to leave? And I don't know the answer to that. Like, how far away do you have to leave? Far away do you have to live from it that you can get in your car and drive away, or can't you drive away from it?
I think those are excellent operational questions, and I think maybe the people to answer those questions are Adelphia. We could invite them to a meeting.
That'd be a good idea.
That would be a great idea.
Yeah.
And another thing that concerns me is the fact that Rockhill Associates wants to build a bunch of houses. Now, you think if there's an evacuation, all them houses have to come out to Rockhill Road. Being you can't probably go through to make a left, all them people would have to go out on the highway. That would be a big emergency evacuation for the highway to carry all them people out there.
Well,
Okay.
the early plans that we saw for that particular development had multiple accesses, not just on Rockhill Road.
Was there just one out on the highway, and that was to make a right? Is that my
Yeah, but
correct?
there was also up on Tollgate Road.
Tollgate, yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't see that in the plan.
Yeah.
Was it one added? Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on just a second.
No,
Let's
I'm
see.
sorry, we're limiting our time limits, please. We have time limits set up for the meeting.
One question though.
Okay.
May I please, just ask one more question. So yous are gonna call Adelphia and set up a meeting that we could talk to them? Have another meeting, because I missed the other one. Apparently they were here, and I have a hard time looking it up, what's on the agenda on the computer.
We're gonna try.
We're gonna try.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
It may be a good idea if you wrote down your email address and gave it to Judy before you left, so that we can make sure if you can't look things up on your computer that you get notice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Question? Yes.
Christine Shelley, Wayland Road. It's my understanding that they want to start things next month.
That's what they said in all their preliminary literature. I can't see that they're on track for that.
And yet, well, I see quite a flurry of activity of trucks going on back there, and I just wondered that none of these studies have been done, none of these tests, evacuations. We have such a rich wildlife back there, we have farming lands, and are we willing to risk our heritage in this state for the next 50, 100, who knows how many years, with all of these chemicals and toxins leaching into our pristine water and our air? And are we willing to do, I mean, we have to be able to do something. And I just can't accept that there's nothing we can do, that this is at the federal level and that we have no power. This is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that's my comment.
Well, this right here is the township of West Rockhill.
Yes.
And we're close, and we have meetings that are open to the public where you can come in and say things, and say what you want to say, and that's the beauty and what we all love best about local government. But the bad thing about local government is that when the state or the federal government decides they're going to take a matter out of our hands and it's going to be their responsibility and their decision, we also don't get a vote in that.
Okay.
So when you say, are we going to allow this to happen, I'm not sure who you think we is.
I mean, we here locally, that this is where we all live, and this is something, and I am appreciative because I feel West Rockhill is aware and they are doing what they can. I'm just very frustrated as a landowner and, you know, with raising my family here. And I am appreciative. What I'm just asking is that, are we doing everything that we can be doing? What else can we be doing?
I think as much communication with FERC as we can possibly have to let them know that we're not happy, and then so that if Adelphia is telling them, oh, we're talking to the local government and everything's great, that we make sure that FERC knows that we don't agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm very concerned about the evacuation plan.
And
When we
it's an
can't start our
important
cars,
issue.
can't use our cell phone.
That's a big issue, yes.
Can't use your cell phone.
It's a big issue.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you. for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Okay. Public comments? Seeing none, I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
So moved.
Okay.